Why no other species would destroy the planet, but we do?
When we talk about climate change, most of the emissions come from the big corporates, and then we talk about and how the individual contribution matters in the climate change.
Look at the linkages, please. They emit because they produce, right? And they produce because they sell, and they sell because you purchase. It does not stop here. You purchase the product later, the propaganda first, and that is propaganda masked as philosophy, pop culture. And if there is propaganda, you must always ask,
does the sustainability comes from inside, like on spiritual level or on subconscious or consciousness?
please understand, why is the question of sustainability relevant only to our species out of the billions of species on this planet? It is such a stupid question actually, no? How can we live sustainably? This question does not even apply to the fish or to the deer or to the lion. Why? Because we have one thing that other species do not have. We have not diagnosed why we keep feeling uneasy, restless, incomplete, dissatisfied. And the sad part is, none of that really succeeds in fulfilling you.
Hello sir, my name is Himanshu, doing Sustainability Management MBA here. And my question is, does the sustainability comes from inside, like on spiritual level or on subconscious or consciousness?
See, there is no other point to begin with. There is just no other point to begin with. Please understand, why is the question of sustainability relevant only to our species out of the billions of species on this planet? It is such a stupid question actually, no? How can we live sustainably? This question does not even apply to the fish or to the deer or to the lion or to the species that even got extinct or would probably appear in the future. Because it is a mindless thing. Every species is designed to live. It cannot be an additional thing to think of, but in the case of our species, it is. It is. Why? Because we have one thing that other species do not have. A deep urge within to consume. Where does that come from? A deep inner restlessness. That restlessness is a fact because we experience it. We are not satisfied with our present conditions. We remain uneasy. But because we do not know where that restlessness comes from, so we look for consumptive solutions. We feel, I'm not okay. So let me go out and visit the mall or plan a vacation abroad, and that will set me okay. Getting it? Now, other species are not confronted with this problem. They are already okay. Give them some food, give them their basic physical requirements, and they are okay. Human beings cannot be okay the way animals are. And that's what makes this whole thing a spiritual problem. We cannot be okay the way animals are. We are not okay. But because we have not diagnosed our disease, our internal situation properly, therefore we come up with false solutions to our internal problem. Right? Anything, if it goes undiagnosed, obviously the treatment would be in a wrong direction. We have not diagnosed why we keep feeling uneasy, restless, incomplete, dissatisfied. We do not diagnose that. So we go for a very obvious and cheap remedy. Retail therapy, go and buy. Or go and have a relationship or go and have babies, right? Or go roam the planet. These are the solutions we come up with, and these solutions are what you can call as the sustainability crisis, which includes obviously the climate crisis. So we have a problem because we do not know the real problem. Are you seeing how it all starts within? Why no other species would destroy the planet, but we do? Because we have a hollow inside us, and that hollow demands to be filled. So we want more and more manufactured products or natural products or this or that, more meat, more this, more luxury, more money. And the sad part is none of that really succeeds in fulfilling you. But you still want to consume endlessly, and that endless consumption arising from a spiritual point is what is the sustainability crisis today. Therefore, if you are genuinely interested in the sustainability question, you will have to look towards education of the self. You will have to look towards that invisible entity called the ego, the self. And you'll have to confront it and ask it, what do you really want? Because there is so much that I have already given you, but you never seem to be satisfied. And when I look at others who have given you 1,000 times what I have done, I find even they are not satisfied. But in the process of pleasing the ego more and more, you destroy the planet. 100 species or maybe more disappear every day due to man-made reasons.
Other than that, like you has been doing really good in mandating sustainability mandates for the companies to do. And how the EU like have been already developed and been able to do such mandates, but India is in this phase. Can we do such things in India, implement such things in India?
No, there is no mandate I can ever come up with for a sovereign free entity like a company or a country. I can only offer suggestions that I keep doing. And it is not difficult to come up with those suggestions because what is happening at the family level, then at the social level, then at the corporate level, and then at the national level, and then at the global level is all actually starting from the person himself. All aggregations are reflections of their constituent unit, and that's who you are. If you can see how you act, you'll be able to see how a corporation acts. Because a corporation in itself is not a living entity. There are people up there, the stakeholders, who run the corporation, who own it, who made it, and who can dissolve it. The corporation exists for their sake. If you can see your own instincts, impulses, you'll also see how the biggest corporation in the world is functioning in much the same way. The instincts of a child, if understood, would help you understand the instincts of the top 500 corporations as well. If you can understand how a child functions, you will see how the tech giants are functioning or the big oil companies are functioning.
Hello, Acharji. I am Ashutosh Shukla. As we were talking about corporates, I want to know ki when we talk about climate change, most of the emissions come from the big corporates, and then we talk about ki this climate change starts on our individual efforts. How do we categorize that, and how the individual contribution matters in the climate change?
No, you are very right that almost not sure of the figure because it keeps changing, but almost 40 to 50% of the emissions they come from a handful of companies. Depends on where you want to draw the line, but I think some 25 or 50 corporations they contribute to almost 40-50% of the global carbon emissions, and that makes it tempting for us to then say that the individual has very little role. It is the mammoth corporations that are at fault, no? But look at the linkages, please. Can the corporations emit on their own if first of all the individual consumer is not ready to buy into their propaganda and then their product, right? They emit because they produce, right? And they produce because they sell, and they sell because you purchase. So they emit because they produce because they sell, and they sell because you purchase. It does not stop here. You purchase the product later, the propaganda first. And that is propaganda masked as philosophy, pop culture. The culture we all are steeped in, the culture that gave birth to us and then brought us up. That's the culture. We think it's our culture. No, it's a propaganda. It's a consumerist propaganda. And if there is propaganda, you must always ask who benefits from it. And you will see who does. The corporations, the politicians, the religious authorities, and their massive structures, they are the ones who benefit from this propaganda. And this propaganda says, live your life in a way that maximizes your consumption, and then you could be called as happy and successful. That's the philosophy that has been given to you. So we could say that corporations are responsible for so much of the climate crisis. But you look at it closely and you figure out that the indoctrination that the common man has become a victim to is at the heart of the problem. Are you getting it? How can you stop the corporations, or how can you get the governments to make the right policies when you are the customer and you are the voter? And as long as you remain ready to support their greed, ambition, and stupidity, they will continue in their ways. If your choices as a customer change, won't the seller have to change his business plans? And why will the seller change his business plans? If the customer remains happily stupid, or the voter remains happily stupid. Think of it. In fact, if we do not see through their propaganda, we are inviting aggression upon us. Don't you see? You might be, or I might be an okay fellow. Not knowing myself very deeply, not understanding the world or life or philosophy. But I am the happy-go-lucky kind of Joe, the average person. But because someone wants to sell his product, or include me in some religious order, or extract my vote, that person will come and indoctrinate me using my ignorance. So actually these systems leave me worse off as a citizen or as a consumer. They succeed in doing what they are doing only because we are very gullible, sitting ducks, easy praise. And as long as we remain who we are, there is no way to just selectively change the corporations using moral means, ethical means, or policy measures. That won't happen. That's wishful thinking, won't materialize. So there is no way except mass awakening. I know it sounds tardy and idealistic and time consuming and too long-termish. But unfortunately, that is the only option we have. The awakened individual. And the awakened individual who does not stop at himself or herself. Having seen what he has, he then wants to radiate it all around. That is the only possible solution.
Hello everyone, I am Animesh. I am working as a software developer in Mumbai and I came here to attend Deepotsav this time. And I have been coming since 2019. It was the first time I discovered Acharya ji. That time I was just fresh graduate from college and I was exploring what should I do. I was totally confused about life, what it means, what should I do, what my future lies in. Then somehow Acharya ji came into my life through YouTube. I have watched all his videos of his series of 2013 and 2014 lectures in YouTube. And later I got to know about more from the website. And after I come in contact with the volunteers of Acharya Prashant Foundation, and then it was a continuous journey since then. I have been continuously in touch with the foundation. I've enrolled in the sessions, Gita sessions from the inception when it started. Before that, all the sessions keep happening in different platform. Then now we have a very foundational and very well curated app where we get all the information in well organized way. Even we can ask question to AI that recommend us the Acharya ji videos, and to get more in-depth knowledge about the of Gita sessions and all. There is a dedicated session that keep happening 17 or 18 times per month, and we get a very clear understanding of what actually life is about. I got to understand myself much more better. I know about what lies I tell myself. There are a lot of deception in every step that I take. I keep getting aware of myself more, and I have seen this change in my life, that I have now different mindset when some problem arises, and I deal with that in completely different than I have dealt with earlier. So my life is changing still, and I am totally in gratitude to Acharya ji for providing this wonderful community where we can share our thoughts, our ideas, and get engaged with this similar minded person who actually value what is the truth. Thank you.